Dude, why do you even try? If you think about it, nothing really matters. Because everyone's gonna die. And why not just enjoy the time that you have while it lasts? You know what, man? You're not wrong. The universe is infinite. Anything we do in this life will likely be forgotten. The world is pretty meaningless, and so is our existence. What if I told you that's exactly why we need to find meaning within ourselves? Let me explain. So there's this French philosopher that I read about. Let's call him Albert. Albert believed that life had no inherent meaning, and is therefore absurd. Now, this absurdity might be reason for despair, and to end our lives, but he argues that it's the perfect reason to free ourselves from the burden of hope to experience life more fully. Our problem as humans, he argues, is that we are rational beings who have a desire to create order, clarity, and give meaning to life while living in an indifferent universe. Now, there's this other guy, an Austrian psychiatrist. Let's call him Viktor. Viktor wrote a book exploring how one can find meaning in the most unusual places. In his case, as a prisoner of a Nazi concentration camp. He wrote his book on his experience, exploring this idea of man's will to meaning, which he says is the central goal of each person's life. That feeling of, what am I going to do with my life, is what he calls the inner void. It reveals itself as apathy, boredom, or lack of interest in things. The frustration of this void is proof of the existence of his will to meaning. He believed that true meaning can only be found through a responsibility to something or someone other than oneself. Viktor believed that there were 3 ways to find meaning. 1. Find meaning through purposeful work or creations. Many of us want to feel useful, not just to ourselves, but to the greater world. Traditionally, we think of how we can be useful to society, but we can also be useful in much smaller circles. When we exercise a contributing action with which we feel useful, that itself gives us meaning. 2. Find meaning in experiencing something or someone. This can manifest without achieving or accomplishing anything, but simply by giving yourself the experience of something beautiful, like a sunset, or someone beautiful, in their uniqueness which is incomparable with any other human being. Finally, 3. Choosing the attitude we adopt and how we respond to unavoidable suffering. Some people find themselves in situations in which they're unable to engage in meaningful action, or they might find themselves separated from the ones they love. This was part of Viktor's experience in the concentration camp. He found himself unable to practice psychiatry and was separated from his loved ones. In these situations, he argues that humans can still find meaning in the midst of suffering. During his time in the concentration camps, Viktor observed that some people would give up and soon die, whereas others bore their suffering with courage and grace. How a person lives their life in the midst of suffering can instill a sense of meaning. Damn, okay, I see where you're coming from. But how do I know what I find to be meaningful? Well, ask yourself, how are you living your life? Meaning, how are you spending your time using your abilities? What is it that you care about? What do you value? Let me tell you a quick story about this other guy. Let's call him Taiichi. Taiichi was a Japanese industrial engineer who worked at a large car manufacturing company who quickly climbed the ranks due to his ability to improve efficiency along the production lines. He was known for challenging the status quo and identifying waste in his production lines. When an engine component was malfunctioning, it wasn't enough knowing that that part was malfunctioning. He encouraged his employees to dig deeper by asking why, 5 consecutive times, with each why digging deeper into the cause of the reason given in the previous why. Now, if we just borrow this method and look at our behaviors, it can be as simple as, why do you play video games? Well, I enjoy playing. Why? Because it's fun. Why? Well, I get to spend time with my friends online and solve challenges as a team. So you're saying you value pushing toward a common goal with people? Yeah, I guess so. Okay. Well, that could mean you value setting goals and achieving those goals. Yeah, maybe. Something like that. Your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside, dreams. Who looks inside, awakes. If you can understand what you value, it's far easier to understand what you consider to be meaningful. If you can identify your values and where they stand in relation to each other, well then you can use that to guide your decisions. From there, you take on habits and routines that reflect those decisions, and my friend, you're on your way to living a meaningful life. Wow, when you put it like that, it seems so simple. It is in theory, but as I've learned, living in this world can be complex. Most people in this world are dealt a losing hand. Others are dealt a full house. In my view, one of the great things about finding meaning in your life is it allows you to keep pushing through the suffering in times when things aren't going your way. It's kind of like your guiding force. If you find it within yourself to make your decisions based off of that meaning, then you can slowly steer the odds of the game in your favor. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. The idea for this video actually came to me on a road trip back from Las Vegas after having lost a little bit of money on the roulette tables with my buddies. And on the drive back, we got into a conversation about the meaning of life. And so, yeah, I guess losing all that money wasn't for nothing. It gave me the idea for this video. So this was also my first video where I played around with cloning myself. If you'd like to know how to do that, I'll most likely make a video on that. You can click somewhere here to see that. Otherwise, I want to thank you again for watching, and I hope this video helped you understand something about yourself that you didn't know before. I'll see you later.